Wow. This is a very emotional day for me, and I felt all of the love and enthusiasm and support in the green room, so I want to thank everybody. William Shakespeare said, "We know who we are, we know not what we may be." Thank you, Dean Ayers, for that very kind introduction. It is always fulfilling to hear someone say something nice about you. To the graduates, congratulations on your academic achievements and on the friendships you have built while you were here at the university. Both will enrich your lives through the years. You are marking a wonderful milestone, and I salute you. To the parents, other family members, and friends, congratulations also. You feel a sense of accomplishment and pride in your graduates' completion of their formal schooling. To Dean Ayers, thank you for this incredible honor and for your outstanding leadership of the Terry School. To the faculty, you should pat yourselves on the back for a job well done. I have been thinking about this day since last October. That October 6th was a long day, filled with very challenging things to deal with, filled with a plethora of mistakes, most of which I made. The day turned into a restless night, and being unable to sleep, I decided to listen to some messages from earlier in the day. Most of the messages were from clients who needed one thing or another. There was one from a marketing company advertising one of its products. And then there was one final message. The voice was strong. The voice was compassionate. The voice was confident. It was the voice of Dean Ayers extending me the invitation to speak here today. I was humbled and a little intimidated by the invitation. My thoughts quickly turned to, what should I say to such a large and distinguished group? Many ideas popped into my head, but you would be glad to know that one thing I remembered most, the dean said, was, "You have 14 minutes to speak." And I will obey the dean, and my remarks will be brief. This occasion is special to me because I sat where you are some 40 years ago, proudly receiving my degree from this university. As the dean said, my connection to UGA run deep. My daughter Jenna graduated from law school here and is now employed there. And as he said earlier this morning, she received her master's degree. Also in 2013, Jenna was named Miss UGA, something that the family is very proud of. My daughter Jessica, well, she traveled west to the University of Alabama. And she now works for the University of South Carolina. You can imagine the football rivalries we have had and continue to have in the family. But Jessica is always a good sport. But she knows that today there's no such thing as Roll Tide or Go Gamecocks, but rather Go Dogs, for this is Bulldogs country. I also want to acknowledge my lovely wife, Sandra, who is the kindest, most altruistic, and courageous person I ever met. She never complains. Well, almost never. She is a treasure and is loved very much. And any family success is because of Sandra's unyielding support, and I want to thank her very much for that support. Recently, I have a close friend who I asked about this event. He had spoken at a couple of these events. And I asked, what do you say, or what advice do you give to such an outstanding class as they go out into the world? And his reply was, tell them don't go. Well, that is not an option, so please get ready to go out into the world and conquer it. There are only a few things in life that we do all by ourselves. Others are rooting for us, advising us, redirecting us, and propping us up when it's needed the most. I truly know that whatever I have accomplished is because I stood on the shoulders of many and sat at their knee. My story began in Atlanta, where I grew up. I'm the youngest of 8, 6 brothers and 1 sister. We were blessed with amazing parents. They guided, nurtured, and disciplined us. My dad was the head of the family, had only a 6th grade education, but to me, he was the smartest person I ever met. He worked in the mailroom of an Atlanta law firm now known as Kilpatrick, Townsend, and Stockton. Many of the attorneys in the firm were Georgia grads. They admired my dad for his work ethic, his wisdom, and his sage advice. He valued education, earned the respect of others, and was one of the most affable persons you would ever meet. In my senior year in high school, and time fast approaching to select a college, the question of the day: do I attend college in Athens or Atlanta, where my brothers attended, or do I step outside of my comfort level and select the University of Georgia? My father's choice was Georgia. He even had me to speak to one of the founders of the law firm, Mr. Ernest P. Rogers, who shared great stories of his days at the university. All I knew about UGA was that Vince Dooley was a famous football coach, and the Georgia fans sang, "And to hell with Georgia Tech" at every football game. There were many advantages of being the youngest in the Jackson family. However, one of them was not being able to select the college of your choice. That decision had been made years before my high school matriculation, and it was clear I would be attending UGA. I can now say that it was one of the best decisions of my life. That fall, I left for the university and was given this advice: give it your very best, respect your teachers, don't cheat on exams, Don't embarrass the family's namesake, and call home weekly. During my 4 years at Georgia, I lived by those pearls of wisdom. While at Georgia, I had the pleasure to be educated by many wonderful professors, including James Don Edwards in accounting and Dean Tate. They both taught with conviction and encouraged forward thinking. They were both tough professors who were always fair. Dean Tate, the truth be told, I tried my best to avoid taking his business policy class. But I was a senior, and I had to. Dean Tate required a case study each day, and it was rumored that he did not give A's. Dean Tate became one of my most avid supporters. He taught me to think outside the box and always work to exceed expectations. You all can relate to this, I hope. The first 3 case studies were submitted to Dean Tate were returned in bold print that said, unsatisfactory. Then the 4th case study was submitted. It was on the airline industry, as I remember it quite well. But this time, to my surprise, the dean wrote, "You did a good job, keep it up." It was as if I had conquered the world. Dean Tate liked my paper. Even today, I think of Dean Tate's influence on my education and my banking career, for he was the first to say that I should consider banking as a profession. And now, 40 years later, I'm still in banking. I was so proud of my time that I spent with Dean Tate. I boastfully told others that I received an A in the class. Now, many years later, it could have been a B. But you know what? More than likely, it was a C. Regardless of the grade, it was an incredible experience, and Dean Tate created an unforgettable moment and a watershed moment for me. Here's the thing, the lesson here: run to and not away from leaders who challenge you, test you, work you, and give you honest feedback. Being pushed past your comfort level is a good and healthy thing. It expands your mind and expands your opportunities. These are the leaders that will help you reach your full potential. My banking career has covered 3-4 decades. I've experienced the joy of being recognized for outstanding performance, the joy of being named President and CEO of Bank of Atlanta, the joy of being named Regional President for Cadence Bank, and the joy of working with some incredible teammates and mentors like Sheila Ray and Arnold Johnson and Tom McCauley, Steve Roll, Bill Lingenfelter, the late Herman J. Russell, and the entire Jackson family. Each one of them supported me throughout my career, especially during the challenging times, because you will have them. As you prepare to enter the corporate world, I just want to throw out a couple of things that were beneficial to me that allowed me to enjoy the thrills of victory as well as failure and defeat. Number one, be willing to pay the price. Today's preparation determines tomorrow's achievement. In your chosen field, find out what it takes to be the best of the best. Time, patience, commitment, sacrifice. There is a price. Success is never on sale. It's just a matter of deciding how much you want to pay. Be self-disciplined. Discipline to read, discipline to use your time well, discipline to eat right and stay healthy, discipline to stay with the task. Set some goals. This is not the same as being disciplined. Discipline is setting your alarm clock at 5 o'clock and making yourself get up. Goal setting is knowing why you set the alarm clock in the first place. It is so important. Learn to get along with others. Studies show that most people don't lose their job because they don't have the technical know-how, but rather because they can't get along with other people. You may not please all the people all of the time, but you can please most of the people most of the time. Dare to dream. George Bernard Shaw said, "Some men see things as they are and say, 'Why?' I dream things that never were and say, 'Why not?'" Terry School graduates, we need you to say, "Why not?" Take risks. Don't be afraid to fail. I passed up job security and comfort to start Bank of Atlanta. I'm a better person and a better banker because I took that risk. Did I almost fail? You bet I did. Did I think about giving up? Not for 1 minute. Bank of Atlanta opened its doors slightly before the recession hit. From January 2008 to August 2011, the state of Georgia had more failed banks than any other state. Did you know that? 67 bank failures. But here's the thing, one of them was not Bank of Atlanta. Stay informed. Use every resource available to you to know and learn how business operates. Be ethical, know when to compromise, and when to stick to your convictions. Never compromise your integrity and reputation. Never. Right is always superior. Define success in your own terms. Many people spend their lives climbing the ladder of success only to find when they get to the top, the ladder is leaning against the wrong building. Have some fun and have balance in your life. Play golf, play tennis, read a book, travel. Find ways to relax and get away from it for a minute. Also, find something to laugh about every day. It's amazing how it can reduce the stress. Treat every task with a sense of urgency, pay close attention to details, and instill confidence in those corporate leaders and your teammates that you can do the job. Seek the wisdom of your parents and listen to them, for their love for you is unconditional. The legendary coach Vince Lombardi said, A person's finest hour is when, after working their heart out for an important cause, lies on the field of battle, exhausted but victorious. Today isn't the ending, but the beginning of a lifelong battle. Make all of your late nights of work count, and always bet on yourself. Congratulations to this incredible class of 2019. I wish you all much success, and thank you so much.
JJ, thank you so much for being with us today, for the example that you set for all of us. We are incredibly proud of you and appreciative of you spending this time with our graduates. Here is a gift as a token of our appreciation.
Thank you so much, Dean. I appreciate it. I think I've left my flag.